You're good to go.
All right, thank you. So I believe this is going to be a very quick meeting, guys. So I'm going to call the meeting to order of the Neary Building Committee Finance Subcommittee on Thursday, February 15th at 7:30 p.m. Almost at 4:30, 7:30 p.m. Okay, first order of business is we're going to approve the minutes from the last meeting, which was January 11th, which Mariana did for us, which she did another lovely job. I like the way she does minutes. So anybody have any corrections, additions to those minutes?
Nope, I echo. She's very good, and she could make a career of it.
Yeah, really. She's hired, right?
Hmm.
I've got
All,
one tiny
all
thing.
set here.
If
All
you
right.
look at paragraph 4, the next last sentence, she says gross rate. It should be the gross reimbursement rate. So we just need to add the word reimbursement. And that was all I had. Mark, anything from you?
Nope, I'm all set.
All right, Andrew, you make a motion?
I move that we approve what date is it?
January 11th.
I move that we approve the January 11 minutes as amended.
Second.
Roll call vote. Andrew,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and Cook is aye. So 3-0 to approve the amended minutes. All right. Next thing is to approve any invoices that are ready to be approved. And the only one we have is Stanska's January. I have so much trouble saying Stanska. I know how to say it, just doesn't come out right. So January invoice for $9,040. Arrow Street has not generated an invoice yet, so we only have the one tonight. So $9,040. I believe they were 52 hours or so on that invoice. Anybody have any questions for Jim as far as the invoice itself?
Nope, look good.
Just a quick question. When you have dates there, that's week of that date?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, just how our pay periods go. Yep.
Okay.
All right, I have no questions. So, Andrew, you make a motion?
I move that we approve the Skanska invoice in the amount of $9,040.
Second.
Roll call vote. Andrew?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Because I 3-0, so invoice is approved. Okay, let's see, next meeting date is going to be March 14th. So Jim, that should work. I hope your schedule. I don't think there's any holidays that are going to mess us up. The St.
No,
Patrick's is the next.
no. My birthday is the following day, but that's not important.
Birthday's on St. Patrick's Day. That's a good day.
Yeah.
It's a March too, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's our next date. Any other business properly brought in front of this committee?
So just from our discussion from last month, I did have kind of a little cheat sheet on MSBA, and I can show you a sample of the 3011, just a quick overview, and we can obviously follow on meetings, maybe put it on the agenda and have a little bit more in-depth discussion. Does that make sense?
Yes, we'll definitely put this on the agenda for next meeting.
Okay. Did you want me to run through those tonight or wait till
How long will it take? We have a bet on how long this meeting is going to be. How long will it take?
I can run through it pretty quickly, probably 5 minutes to run through it, show you the form of the 3011, and that's about it.
Why don't you do this instead? Because it's not on the agenda. Why don't you just send it to us by email so we've got it, and then we'll be ready to discuss it at the March 14th meeting?
Yeah, that works.
All right. So
Is that the reimbursement calculation form? Okay.
Yeah, so
to the MSBA to get your 38% or whatever it is.
correct. And it's all the pieces and parts of what's eligible, what's ineligible, and how they get to your final grant number. So
Okay.
yeah, we can definitely add that to next and send it out to everybody. Makes sense.
Yeah, Jim, if you can I'm sure you probably know it off the top of your head, but one of the things I've been looking at is like the additional points that are available. So kind of knowing about those, I thought about adding a 40R, to get some extra stuff.
Yep.
I think we should really delve into that next meeting to make sure that we really are, teed up to get everything we can get. 1% is a big number.
Yeah, I mean the 3011 has incentive points built into it. So, I have it up. It's, maintenance is 0 to 2% extra, newly formed regional school district that want to apply. If you're reusing any of the building, there's points available there. Energy efficiency, green schools, there's points there. So yeah, lots of opportunities to increase that because you guys are at, I believe it's 39.84. So you can definitely tack on to that. And
is that really your number? Because I've heard, so Becky, it is 39.84 because I've heard 38. I've heard, so we think it's 39.84 today.
I will say we know it is on ProPay, which is our MSBA, how we apply everything and get our reimbursements. Reimbursement rate is 39.84. So you can take that as.
Okay, now how do we get reimbursed for this first phase, the architect's phase and your phase? How do we get our reimbursement for that?
Yep. So that's for us. MSBA has a ProPay system, progress payments, but they just call it ProPay. So we submit any invoices and then they submit reimbursements to us. So we're
ready to start doing that?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. And that is your job, Jim, to do it? Your
company? Yes. Yep. I mean, some districts want the district to do it, but it's fairly time consuming. Obviously the district signs off on anything we submit to the MSBA. That's a required signature. But yes, that's for us to do unless the district thinks otherwise. But I would, advise, just because it is a fairly time consuming process, that we do it, and we can determine what the best way to approve things is. But yeah.
Becky, you're okay with that?
Yes. Yep. And Jim, I know that I think Cy might have sent something to Greg for the ProPay. And so I wasn't sure if we were all set with that.
I believe we are. Yeah. I mean, the feasibility study phase is pretty straightforward. Unless it's to do with site, everything's reimbursable. So it's when you get into the construction phase when some things are reimbursable, some things aren't. It gets a little more in depth, but feasibility is pretty straightforward. So, because you only have a couple of invoices. So.
Okay, so we should expect to get 39.84% back of $950,000 if that's what we spent, right?
Unless it's to do with the other costs, which are for site. They don't reimburse for site. So if we're doing any geotechnical and hazardous materials, so if we're doing any asbestos review of buildings, that they don't reimburse for that. So it's not going to be a complete 950, but your effective rate for feasibility is going to be, fairly close to that 39.84. So.
And Andrew, I know we talked about this before. Do we believe that when the checks come in, they get deposited as local revenue? You've got a warrant hanging out there with 950 approved, right? So we're drawing against that. And I don't think you put this money back in that.
It's probably a question for Carla, but with the new municipal financing rules, I think you can directly target the stuff that's coming in and spend it same year.
Okay. All right. So you and I should figure that out before next meeting too. Okay.
Yeah, like with the opioid payments. Now we could spend it same year because we have the fund, kind of thing.
Yeah, because that's got a special fund too. As far as okay. Yes, Dottie, that's true. Okay. So hi, Cy. Nice to see you. This is a quick meeting. We're about to adjourn. But we will have a more substantive, robust meeting in March as far as this piece of it goes, because we are definitely getting into the teeth of this. Yeah. Okay. So
sorry, just one piece of good news. So the other piece to the with AeroStreet, so we have their base services, but then there's services on top of that which hit the environmental and site, that 100,000. So I just got a text from Katie about 15 minutes before this meeting. They were finalizing all the costs. That came in at 101,000. So it's within our budget. We did have to move it around a little bit. It was a little bit above the budget, but we were able to make some adjustments to pretty much fit it within the budget.
How are you going to make the adjustment for the extra $1,000?
So their line, the A&E line, was 4,000 under, and then the
okay, all right,
with the website coming in at 6,000. I still need to get the formal quote from Jason, but that was 4,000 to the good. So we have about 8,000 to play with. So now we have about 7,500 to play with. So good news.
we'll review that next time too, just to make sure we're on the
Yep.
same page as far as that goes.
Definitely.
Okay. All right, so thanks everybody. I don't see anybody in the audience. Does Jason, you see anybody? Or excuse me, Andrew, I always do this to you. I don't see anybody. Do you? No? Are you not?
Nobody is in attendance.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second it.
Roll call vote. Andrew?
Aye.
Mark?
You're on mute, Mark.
You're muted, Mark, still.
Good grief. Aye.
Okay. Cook is aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a good
Have
night.
fun, Kathy.
I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, I'm done.